Hello, 3P. It's Mrs. Al-Hasso. I'm delighted to be able to tell you that I will be one of your teachers when you move up to year 4 in September. I can't wait to teach you, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to be there at the end of term with you to introduce myself face to face. I can't wait for our year together. We're going to be doing loads of things, from looking at Roman murders to making our own volcanoes that erupt with lava. We're going to be looking at Vikings. We're going to be reading loads of exciting books, looking at stories about lions, fantastical creatures, and dragons. So we're going to share lots of adventures during the next academic year. What I'd like to talk to you about now is a little bit about myself, and Mr. James has put some questions together. So I'm going to put up a PowerPoint and then I'm going to talk you through it. Not done this before, so let's see if we can get it to work. So next academic year in September, we're going to be called 4BA because Miss Delaney will be teaching you for 3 days a week and I will be teaching you for 2. It's going to be a fantastic year. I know you all know my name. It's Mrs. Al-Hasso. I thought I'd remind you of the spelling. And I was so lucky to be able to teach you French for year 3 and also to teach you on some afternoons while Miss Parsons was out of your lessons, which means that I've got to know you really well already, and I know that you know me and my teaching style. Here are 3 questions with a few answers. So Mr. James asked me to talk to you about why did I become a teacher? Well, first of all, I've always had a passion for learning. When I was your age and in secondary school, I had some fantastic teachers who really inspired me, and I never thought I wanted to be anything else. As a teacher, I love to develop your strengths. That means to work on what you're good at, to make you feel more confident in what you can do, but also to support you. Not everything we have to learn is easy. And so as a teacher, I love helping and making sure I can teach you things that are tricky in ways that help you to understand it and that help you to become confident in doing it independently. I especially love those wow moments when something that you didn't understand before suddenly becomes clear. And once you understand how to do something, I promise you, it will make you feel so much more confident and you will have that skill for the rest of your life. Finally, I love to think of creative and fun ways to teach. So I'm always looking for new ideas, new inspiration, trying to think of ways which I can make your learning memorable and that can put a smile on your face so you can go home at the end of the day to tell any grown-ups or family members what you were doing that day. Secondly, what are my favourite subjects and why? Well, languages is a big favourite of mine, so I think English has to be one of my favourite. I had a fantastic English teacher at school when I was in secondary school who inspired me by introducing new books and poetry to me. And I had never enjoyed poetry before, but suddenly he opened up a whole world of ideas. And what I like about English the most is that you can think of so many ways of creating imagination in the reader's brain. If you think about your favourite book and think about the words they used, the world is full of amazing words to create ideas in our heads. My second favourite subject is art, and I used to spend so much time when I was your age doing cartoon drawings, paintings, colouring in, and as I got older, I've carried on enjoying that. I also sometimes make a bit of jewellery, as well as doing sketches when I'm out, and you'll always find me doodling when I can. And finally, what do I like most about working at HJS? Well, first of all, it has to be all the amazing children that I have the privilege of working with on a day-to-day basis. The staff are fabulous and we're so supportive. It's like we're a family. We've got great teamwork at our school, and that's not just with the teachers and the support staff. We are a team together. Myself and you, we're going to work as a team, and we're going to make sure that everybody feels included and everyone is supported. Now, here's a little bit you might not know. I'm going to tell you about my family. So this is a photo of me with my family. You can see I'm next to my dad, and next to my dad is my sister, Lucy. She's my big sister. Next to her is my mum, called Petronella, And on the end is my brother, Jan. And this photo was taken last year when my mum and dad celebrated being married for 50 whole years. I think you might recognize some of the people in this photo. That's right. There I am with my two lovely children, Izzy on the left and Esther on the right in the cycling helmet. Esther is leaving Hampton Junior School this year and going on to her secondary school, and Izzy will be in year 5. This was a picture taken of us on our cycling trip in Bushy Park during lockdown. So, what are my interests outside of school? I've got so many, it's difficult to choose, but the biggest thing I like doing is spending time outdoors. So, one of my great passions is camping. I love to go out and spend the days in the open air, cooking on campfires, going for walks. If I'm lucky enough to have good weather, I go out for lovely walks and cycle rides. And sometimes I even just lie out in the evening looking up at the stars and then enjoying toasting my feet over a campfire. Last summer, I was lucky enough to go to one of the most amazing places that I've ever been to. And this is actually in the UK. If you look very carefully, you can see me just here in the corner. And this is a place called Shetland Islands. It's the very most northerly point of the UK. And it's the very, very highest island in Scotland. So far away, we had to fly there from Edinburgh, and it took nearly 2 hours. It's a very wild and remote place, and you can see that there was no one else around. And on this holiday, I was lucky enough to see a pod of orca whales that come in to hunt. Here I am cycling, another one of my outdoor passions. This is me with one of my children, and that day we did an exhausting 20-mile cycle ride. But I love to set myself new challenges, and I feel really proud of myself when I've done it. And you might see me around in Hampton. I am part of a little tennis club. I've been teaching myself tennis for the last year and a half, and these are the people that are in my tennis lessons. Also, another outdoor hobby that I'm very lucky to have is skiing. That's my husband lying down on the floor, and you can see that he's a snowboarder. And 2 years ago, we went on a skiing and snowboarding holiday. And finally, I've been very busy baking. I don't know if you have as well, but this was my first ever bread bun morning dish that I made for my family. So I've been busy becoming a baker and eating tasty bread. Now, finally, some interesting facts about Mrs. Al-Hasso. Well, let's see what you might know about me after this. I'm going to show you 3 flags. I don't know if you know what they are. You might be able to recognize them. But these 3 flags represent the 3 languages that I speak apart from English. Let me show you. I speak French, Spanish, and Danish. Now, I learned French when I was at school, and I love going on holiday to France and practicing. I think you all know that I also teach French at school. I speak Spanish because I went to live in a Spanish-speaking country, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. And I also speak Danish because my dad is from Denmark. So I would spend a lot of my time going back on holidays to Denmark. And I know that some of you in year 3 already speak another language because you've got family abroad too. Now I'm going to show you 3 photos of places where I lived. Now you might recognize which one is me in the top photo. That's right. I'm the little one in the swimming costume here. So up until the age of 6, I lived in Holland. I was born in England, and then because of my dad's work, I lived in Holland, and I didn't come to England until I was 6 years old. This picture underneath is a photo of Belgium, because when I was 17, my dad moved to Belgium, and which meant that my whole family moved with him. And this is a picture of the Central Park in Belgium. It's called La Grande Place. And if you look very carefully, it looks like there's a huge carpet here with people standing around it. This carpet is actually made of flowers, and every year they have a special celebration where the central part of the main square in Brussels is covered in a design made by flowers. Now, finally, down at the bottom, when I finished university, I went to live in Mexico, which is where I learned to speak Spanish. And if you look at this photo carefully, you'll see that behind the cathedral on top of this hill, there is a huge smoking volcano. And while I was there, this volcano was active and looked like that most of the time. And there was one time in Mexico that there was an earthquake and the volcano started erupting and it erupted ash all over the city. And there were little black, what looked like raindrops coming down, but it wasn't raindrops, it was ash from the volcanic soot. And finally, one last thing you might not know about me is that I can do handstands. I can't remember when I learned to do this, probably around your age, but I still sometimes try and do it because it helps me to balance, but it makes my head go very red and full of blood. But I can do that for about 1 minute. Finally, I wanted to share with you one of my favourite poems. Now, you might know the author A.A. Milne because they wrote Winnie the Pooh, but this is one of my favourite poems called The King's Breakfast, and my mum and I used to read this together. The reason I like this poem so much is because you can say it with someone else and you can really act it out and make it a bit of a dramatic poem. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to read it for you. The king asked the queen, and the queen asked the dairymaid, "Could we have some butter for the royal slice of bread?" The queen asked the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, "Certainly, I'll go and tell the cow now before she goes to bed." The dairymaid, she curtsied and went to the Alderney. "Don't forget the butter for the royal slice of bread." The Alderney said sleepily, "Oh, you'd better tell His Majesty that many people nowadays like marmalade instead." The dairymaid said, "Fancy," and went to Her Majesty. She curtsied to the Queen and she turned a little red. "Excuse me, Your Majesty, for taking off the liberty, but marmalade is tasty if it's very thickly spread." The Queen said, "Oh," and went to His Majesty. "Talking of the butter for the royal slice of bread, many people think that marmalade is nicer. Would you like to try a little marmalade instead?" The king said, "Oh, bother." And then he said, "Oh, dearie me." The king sobbed, "Oh, dearie me," and went back to bed. "Nobody," he whimpered, "could call me a fussy man. I only want a little bit of butter for my bread." The Queen said, "There, there," and went to the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, "There, there," and went to the shed. The cow said, "There, there, I didn't really mean it. Here's the milk for his porringer and butter for his bread." The Queen took the butter and brought it to His Majesty. The King said, "Butter, eh?" and bounced out of bed. "Nobody," he said, as he kissed her tenderly. "Nobody," he said, as he slid down the banisters. "Nobody, my darling, could call me a fussy man, but I do like a little bit of butter on my bread." I do hope you've enjoyed listening to my poem today, and I wonder if you know it. If you like your own poetry, your own stories, I would love you to write them down and bring them in to show me, and maybe we could share them with the class when we start in September. Finally, I can't wait to see you all. And until then, I hope you've learned a few new things about me, and I can't wait to see you in the fabulous 4DA on the beginning of September as we start our adventures together for year 4. Bye.